checking out the Sportsline Podcast on the CHCH media platform. I'm Bubba O'Neil. I say this on a daily basis, folks. This podcast is a space to highlight the outstanding athletes, coaches, broadcasters, and in this case, executives from Southern Ontario. Today, the spotlight shines on junior hockey, and after losing the Alexanders in 1984, the fine folks in Brantford, they had to be real patient. They had to wait until 2023 to experience the return of the Ontario Hockey League. Now, with that said, the Hamilton Bulldogs were on loan under the leadership of owner Michael Andlauer. Now, with Andlauer feeling like an absentee owner due to his ownership responsibilities of the NHL Ottawa and AHL Belleville Senators, the franchise has changed hands to the Hyman family, meaning hockey fans in the Bell City no longer have to wonder about the future of their hockey team.
This has been such a dream to be able to do this with my dad, with my brother Zack, and my family. And it's not just the hockey, it's everything that comes with it. It's the drive to the game with your dad. It's the dinner before the game. It's going and seeing the community rally together to support their team. That's what junior hockey is. Family, community, charity. Those are the values that we look to instill and continue that Michael's left behind with us in the Brantford Bulldogs.
President, you're getting real deep with that, and you talked about it, about the charity aspect, about going to hockey games with your dad or your mom and the practices. And you're right, especially in a small community, this is junior hockey.
Yeah, no, Bubba, it's surreal. It's special. You know, like I said in the press conference, and meant every single word. Brantford is the home of the Bulldogs, and for our family to come in and make that official for the next 40 years, and it'll be longer than that, but the next 40 years, unbelievable.
It really is, Spencer. I think what's happening here in this area, the renewed excitement for the Bulldogs. I mean, there was so many question marks about the franchise and where it was going to be. Is it coming back to Hamilton? And I think that there was such a cooling feeling in that press conference, and it really was a love affair.
Yeah, I mean, like, our family has wanted to get into the Ontario Hockey League for a long time. I kind of, shown it where this chase started 20 years plus ago for my father, and it's a league that we've always respected, a league that we've always admired, and really for myself, I've been infatuated with it, and so when we had the opportunity to sit down with Michael and the Bulldogs, the Brantford Bulldogs, were the possibility of us entering the league, it was just surreal, special, exciting, and we could not be happier, Bubba.
Your father is notorious with hockey, especially in this province.
Yep.
In fact, when the word started to get out that your family may have something to do with the Bulldogs, the rumors were flying. And of course, there was some research. I'm a sportscaster. I got to do some research. And I fell upon a quote from your dad, Stuart, that just blew my mind away. Some people buy art and put it on the wall. I bought hockey clubs because it's a passion. That one knocked me out, and of course you've been very fortunate to be able to have the financial abilities to do some very special things when it comes to hockey. And the fact that you get to spread the wealth now to really, and a lot of those clubs were Ontario Junior, the OJHL, that kind of stuff. We had that team here in Hamilton, the Red Wings, for many, many years, which we'll get into that as well too. But to have it now at what I would consider the highest level of junior hockey in the world has to be just an amazing feeling. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I mean, my dad is a true builder in the sport. Hockey is something that Zack and I and all my brothers were born into. We're a hockey family. Friday nights, typical night for families to get together, have dinner. We're all in the arena, whether it be watching Zack play, then myself play, my brother Ollie, Coop, Shane. We're a hockey family. And so my dad's passion for this sport really bled into us as we were kids. It's something we've always been a part of. The one constant in our family throughout forever has been hockey, and specifically junior hockey, Bubba. I mean, like I said in the press conference and reiterated it, since then as well, like, I was my dad's shadow in these arenas, in these environments, going into, Georgetown when we owned the Raiders, and then Hamilton when we owned the Red Wings. It's such a special place in our family, and it means everything to us. So my dad's a special person, and, his passion for this game is unmatched. And, Zack, myself, my brothers, we all just basically, have that because of him. So for us, it's we're very lucky to have a father like our dad Stu. Means the world to all of us.
Now, this has been a complete family affair, as you talked about. Can you just, for everyone now, there's you and how many brothers going on here that are playing hockey here?
Yeah, there's 5 of us. So my parents had 5 boys. Zack's the oldest.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot. My mom's a saint. Now I got 2 young kids, and I kind of go like, hey, how did you guys do this? Especially like driving us to the rinks and whatnot. So, but Zack's the oldest. I'm the second. Third brother Ollie. Fourth Coop, and then 5th Shaner. So
all played hockey.
All played hockey. We all played. 4 of us played for the Hamilton Red Wings. And then when the Bulldogs came into Hamilton, it was time for our team to unfortunately move. And so Shane, the youngest, only played for Markham, but he played 5 years for the Markham Royals franchise, our Tier 2 team there. And but the 4 of us before that all played for the Hamilton Red Wings.
So let's go back to your playing days. I mean, you had a good little run at it. You were able to play at the NCAA level, and you were playing at the NCAA level when that really wasn't maybe the popular choice. But look where it is right now, of the amount of players that are playing in the United States right now at the college level, taking scholarships. It's unbelievable right now. So that journey started there, and then the Red Wings. Can you just talk about those junior days for you?
Yeah, I mean, playing for the Hamilton Red Wings is one of the best experiences of my life. It was surreal, right? I grew up a kid being a fan in the arena with my dad, and to have the opportunity to then play for the franchise that you grew up cheering for was like, unbelievable. I use the word surreal, and that's what it was. Hamilton's a very special place. The Red Wings are a very special place.
That's up on were you playing up at Old Hester?
Dave Andrew Truck Mountain Arena, right off the link on Hester Streets. It was a great time for us, great as a family. But we're so excited to be in Brantford. The Bulldogs are Brantford's team, and we love our past in Hamilton, our history in Hamilton. But Brantford is a special place, and we're just so excited to lay roots there and build the Bulldogs up in Brantford.
Well, and that's what's so amazing is the fact that your journey will take you through to that. Now, but before you got to the Bulldogs and what you're going to be doing right now, I guess the tracks were laid down with you doing work as, I guess, a head coach, as a coach, also doing work, general manager, hockey operations with the OJHL franchise, the Royals in Markham. Again, what was that like? Because that's like, hey, go.
So I went from Hamilton. I played 4 seasons for the Red Wings, and then from there I joined Zack at Michigan. It's funny, and I stopped playing at Michigan. I had some concussion history and some back issues that were kind of creeping up. But truthfully, Bubba, it got to the point where I miss junior hockey. I miss being in the rink. I miss in terms of our junior hockey environment. I grew up managing teams since I was 4 years old with my father. I said to a friend recently, I don't know if this is a weird thing to say, but my comfort level and happiness was more in running a franchise than playing. And so once I came home from Michigan, the natural fit for me was just to step right into working with the Red Wings. And, and then that carried on into Markham with the Royals as well. And so for me, it's who I am. I've dedicated my life to junior hockey. I've been involved in it since I was 4 years old, and that's where I'm happiest.
What'd you learn? I mean, and the reason why I asked that question is because to me, when you're at the management level in the National Hockey League, it's about managing men.
Yep.
But in the junior level, and even in the NCAA, it's about managing young men, which can be quite different.
Oh, it's totally different. I echo that 100%. It's not just developing someone on the ice. It's developing them away from the rink. It's their personal life. It's school. Education is extremely important to us, making sure that kids are doing both, success in their on-ice abilities as well as the off-ice abilities. And then also it's helping them grow as human beings. I mean, we're just as proud as the kids that move on to the next level and become police officers, firefighters, doctors, lawyers, teachers, that as we are kids that move on to play, professional hockey. That's what junior hockey really is, Bubba. It's about, building up a 16-year-old kid, and you're with them at their prime age of development. And they come to you as kids, and they, most of them leave at 19, 20 years old, and they're on to becoming a young adult. And so it's a huge part of their life. And we take it very seriously, in terms of helping them develop and grow, not just as hockey players, but as human beings as well.
Huge responsibility, and it's amazing that you're willing to take that on. Dude, I can't take care of myself, right? So it's amazing to me that you can sit there and take on that responsibility.
You're a legend, Bubba.
I mean, just stop that. But I really honor what you guys are about to do here, and I know you're taking this extremely seriously. So when I look at the tree, at least in the ownership, obviously your dad has got a lot to be involved. Yeah. You are the president of the...
So actually, Zack's going to be the president and governor. My dad's the CEO and alternate governor, and then I'm slotting in as chief operating officer. Okay. And in that role, my job is to handle the day-to-day aspects of the franchise from the ownership level. Mm-hmm. I'm working on a day-to-day basis with our GM, who, I think is the best GM in the Ontario Hockey League, and Matt Turek. He's unbelievably detailed at what he does, and I've learned so much from him, so far. Work and help and assist our coaches in anything they need. I think, again, we have also the best head coach in the OHL, and Jay McKee's an absolute superstar. Just the way he connects with the players, you kind of see it. And, he's just such a calming presence back there, and really a leader of men. And then, other areas as well. We've got an incredible business staff led by Jeff Elia and Stefan O'Reilly. And then we also have an incredible lady that's running our foundation, the Bulldogs Foundation. And really, I call her Mrs. Everything when it comes to the Bulldogs, which is Peggy Chapman. She's an absolute superstar, and I don't know where the franchise would be without her. So we're very, very fortunate to have incredible people around us.
Well, we got those sayings in sports about someone being a glue guy, and Peggy's the glue guy of the franchise and has been for, basically 2 decades. So she's unbelievable and just so recognizable in the area. Let's talk about the deal. First of all, I know you talked about it was kind of a 20-year thing that you were thinking about. I'm led to believe this all started on the golf course.
With Michael, you're saying?
Yes.
So, it actually didn't. Michael is a guy that we've had tremendous respect for. Never got to know him previous to this, but have seen the things he's done in hockey and have had great admiration for him as a person, an owner, and someone that has had tremendous success within hockey. He's won the AHL championship in Hamilton. He won 2 OHL championships. But it's not just the success on the ice; it's the success and the character he's built with his organization off the ice. And for us, when we had the opportunity to sit down with Michael and started to understand what the Bulldogs were all about, there was no looking back for us. It was, it was a really special conversations that we had, special meetings that we had. And, I said in the press conference as well, and I'll reiterate here that, when someone says something to you about, the organization or, about their hockey team, like you take what they say and you believe them. But when you go into Brantford, everything that Michael Andlauer said and created, you feel. You see it and feel it immediately. It's a very, very, very incredible environment that was created. And like I said, we just look to go in and continue his goodwill, because there's nothing that needs to be changed or fixed. It's just continuing the goodwill.
Did you know the Bulldogs were up for sale? Did he tell you that he was thinking about it?
So actually, from the start, they were never for sale. He wasn't looking to sell them. I think one of the biggest reasons I have so much respect for Michael and admiration for Michael is because when you truly love something, it's a cliche. When you love something, sometimes you have to let it go. Mm-hmm. But when you truly love something, you know sometimes moving on and leaving it in the right hands is what's best for it. And he's running a very successful publicly traded company, along with running the Ottawa Senators in the National Hockey League. And you know, I like what he said at the press conference, where he realized he's only got 24 hours in a day. And so, you know, for us and our family, we just feel honored and fortunate that, you know, he left the team with us and he chose us, because he wasn't looking to sell the team. But I think after meeting with us and understanding our vision and understanding who we are as people, he felt very comfortable. I'll never forget when he called me, and it may have been in the fall, early fall, and he said to me, you know, Spencer, I'm leaving you this team because I truly believe you guys are going to do good with it. And you're and this is the word to use, the rightful owner of the Bulldogs. And that meant the world to me, and I'll never forget that. So I have nothing but the ultimate respect for Michael. He was a fantastic owner in the Ontario Hockey League, and I won't say this to Edmonton fans, you know, with Zack, but if I was a fan right now, I'd buy stock in the Ottawa Senators, because I can guarantee you he's going to do some really cool things up there. And he said in the press conference, and I'll say this too, he said, you know, we win our next championship and the Bulldogs will get them a ring. I want a Sens ring too.
I am glad you said that too, because I thought when he said that to me, I was like, wow, he is selling the team, but it's so hard for him that he's like, can you give me a ring too, please, guys?
Yeah, but he's not. You know what, Michael the Bulldogs logo and brand will always be synonymous with Michael and his family.
No doubt.
And for us, we wouldn't have it any other way. I think, you know, the only thing that's going to change is when people look at the logo and the brand, they'll think of the Hyman family as well. And that's how we would want it to be. And I know Michael's term, and it's true, is once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. And his legacy will always be carried out through this franchise, and we'll make sure of that.
So obviously, you know, at least from a media standpoint, from a hockey standpoint, in terms of your fan base, and of course, I will extend that from Brantford into the Hamilton area of where the team is going to be. What is the future of the team? You worked pretty quickly the fact that press conference, you had the mayor there to talk about where this team was going to be. So there were no questions.
Yeah, when, you know, Bubba, when this broke a couple days before it was, you know, supposed to, the one thing that I think really bothered us, and not that it broke, but the one thing that really bothered us as a family, and I know it bothered Michael, was the question marks around where the team was going to be now that it was sold. And to us, it was always Brantford. And I thought it was an easy answer, because if you've been to the Madhouse on Market, you know what it's like there. You know what the people there feel about the Bulldogs. It's their team, right? Like, we own the team. It's Brantford's team. And I've made that very clear to the Brantford community. The Bulldogs belong to Brantford. And so for us, it was never a question of if we were going to move the team. It was just a question of, you know, let's get a new arena deal signed, lease signed, and we were able to come to terms, which is amazing. And that's a huge credit to Mayor Kevin Davis, because his passion for the Bulldogs, I think, is unmatched. He loves this team, loves the city of Brantford, and his vision for the future of Brantford is unbelievably special. You know, the citizens of Brantford should be very excited for what's to come.
I think there was some question marks, because there was a feeling that when Michael, you know, left Hamilton, or was kicked out, quite honestly, let's use the real words here, right? That it was a 3-year agreement with Brantford, and the thoughts of this new shiny arena, or whatever it is, this complex that's going to be built in downtown Hamilton to you know, that's going to make First Ontario Centre look like, you know, a facility that is right up to date in terms of, you know, the facilities and all the things and amenities, that the Bulldogs were going to come back. And I don't think that was ever for sure. Like,
for us, once this opportunity arose, and I can't speak to the, you know, beyond that, but for us, it was always Brantford. There was never a thought of Hamilton. There was never a thought of anywhere else, frankly. It was always Brantford. You walk into the Madhouse on Market and you feel it. You absolutely feel it. It is a tough place to play for an opponent. And in speaking with the mayor, and this was prior to the announcement, the commitment to the Bulldogs in the city is tremendous. We have counselors that are at every single game that absolutely love their team. And for us, like I said, it was always Brantford. Environment, the culture, the community, it's Bulldogs country.
You can't beat that kind of support, and I think that's what makes this move so amazing and why people should be so excited. Let me kind of walk you down a road where I think people should be even more excited. Is that, I mean, like, let's be honest, this is a business.
Yep.
Like, I mean, no matter anything, we've seen teams in the Ontario Hockey League, unfortunately, move out of different communities for different reasons, and that's money,
Yep.
right? Now, you tell me, I mean, you're way more knowledgeable about this business venture than I am, but I would have to think that in a building that's, nearing 50 years old, that's, 3,000, especially when you got places like London that are 8,500, Kitchener, 10 grand, you got to make money too, right? To continue to offer the best to your fans.
Yep.
And I think that's why this news of a new arena and a facility is so amazing for the people of Brantford.
Yeah, it's tremendously exciting. Not just for the Bulldogs, but for the whole community. I mean, this is a facility that is going to bring tons of different events to Brantford that previously wouldn't have been coming. You talk about country concerts, you talk about Disney on Ice, you talk about different things that will draw people to the city of Brantford, help the economy, help the community. So for us, the Bulldogs are the prime and the anchor tenant of the facility. We're going to do an incredible job in terms of building our facility up, making it the standard that the OHL wants to have. And but I would say to citizens of Brantford, there's a bigger picture in place for your city and for our city, and the Bulldogs are a huge part of that. So we're thrilled. Bubba, was surreal to be able to get a new facility. I think it's going to, change Brantford and the look of Brantford, which is amazing, and all for the better. So, a huge credit to Mayor Kevin Davis, because his vision for his city is unbelievable. And as our family and the Bulldogs are just so proud, honored, and excited to be a part of it.
I think when you get that type of a commitment that could last up to 40 years, I think everyone should feel very, very good.
Yeah.
The players, have you talked to them? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know obviously they're playing under this sort of, for them, and especially some of the older players that have been with the Bulldogs, there were some question marks for them. And, are they feeling, God, we have some security now? And,
yeah. Look, I think when there's a new ownership change, my brother Zack kind of alluded to it, as a player, because he's a current player, right? You think, okay, what's next? What happens here? Is stuff going to change? And, we went in and reiterated to the players immediately, absolutely nothing changes. Everything stays the exact same. As I said to you earlier in this, Bubba, is that, like, Michael has done such an incredible job with this franchise, and, all we have to do is continue the goodwill. In terms of Brantford, it's great for the players to now know, hey, the team's not moving, it's staying here. They can stay in their billet house. The comfortability of that. You're growing and developing with a family that, it's funny. I was at the game on the weekend, and as I'm leaving, I see Nick Rossetto, one of our 16-year-olds, walking out, and he's with, mom, dad, and 3 kids and 3 boys wearing his jersey, and then daughter with the mom. And I look, and I got out of my car, and I went to say hi, and I'm like, this is what it's about. You got, his billet family there with these 3 little boys that, are learning from a player that's living with them that is playing on their team, the Bulldogs. And, to me, I think that's the bigger thing, Bubba, is that, they know they're staying in their environment where they're growing with the current families that they're with and the school and everything like that. So I think it would have to be a relief for a lot of players. And I've spoken to some of them and getting to know all of them a little bit, every day, a little bit more and more. And we've got some special kids here, some really special kids, some special hockey players, lots of talented hockey players, but some special kids and special people. And that's the environment that, Michael created with the leadership of Matt Turek and Jay McKee.
Obviously, the name, of course, when you look on Sportsnet, when you look on TSN, and you see about the sale of the Bulldogs,
yeah.
Zack Hyman.
Yeah.
Zack Hyman. Hey, the guy scored over 50 goal club last year.
Yeah.
What's his excitement level?
Yeah, so Zack actually got 70, including playoffs.
That's true. Yeah, he had them all up. He had a great run, too.
70 pucks in the net. So he, you know what, anything Zack does, he's all in. He's not a guy that goes half in, half out. If he's going to put his name and his brand behind something and his heart, really, because that's what this is, he's all in. So Zack's excitement level is 1,000 out of 100. He is all in on the Bulldogs. Of course, he's got a day-to-day job with the Edmonton Oilers, which he's very, very, focused on, and that's his number one priority. But in saying that, and he alluded to it, he's got me and my dad there on a day-to-day basis. And the trust level that Zack and I have between each other is unmatched. He's my brother, but he's also my best friend. We talk about this team 24/7 now, and he trusts me, and that's what means the most to me in my heart, is that he trusts me to run this franchise for him because he's busy playing in the NHL. In saying that, we talk about this team, like I said, all the time, and he's going to be very involved. He's actually going to be here with the Four Nations break, nice. February 14th. He'll be at our home game there versus the Ice Dogs, which will be a really special game. And I know Peggy Chapman has some cool things planned for that. So.
Well, and there's some things happening. I think as this taping day, there's some real special things with the franchise that. We talked about the charity component of this franchise and, amongst the best in the Ontario Hockey League. And today's going to be a very special day for your organization. Yeah,
it is. Led by Peggy Chapman and the Bulldogs Foundation, we've partnered today with the Brantford Hospital. The Bulldogs Foundation is going to be donating $100,000 to the hospital, which is unbelievable. It's charity for us. I said this and I'll say it again. The three reasons that we got into this and what we feel junior hockey is about is family, charity, community. The three pillars to success in the Ontario Hockey League. And community and charity are kind of in one, giving back to your community. And so for us, the fact that this is already in place with the Bulldogs Foundation, it was a core pillar of why we also wanted to pursue this franchise. It means the world to us. We have our own foundation, our family foundation, which I run for Zack. We've raised over $2 million in the last 5 years for youth charities, Children's Hospital in Toronto, Edmonton, and now we also look to support the Brantford community. So, we mean every word we say, and we look forward to backing it up.
Can we just go off script a little bit? I know Peggy is in this studio somewhere. I need to bring Peggy. Please come.
There she is.
Please, just because a lot of people know the name Peggy Chapman. Thank you for coming, Peggy. A lot of people know this name. And I know we've talked about her, for this, when we talk about Bulldogs hockey for the better part of 2 decades, whether it be the AHL or the OHL franchise. And the Bulldogs, as we've talked about this entire time, they've been in the community. They're more than just a hockey franchise, more than just a sports franchise that represent Hamilton or Brantford in this case. But but with your leadership, have done so much in terms of charity, making sure a little kid has a breakfast to eat, some food to eat when they wake up in the morning, when some of us, things we take for granted. And this will continue. Yes. Not only just in the Brantford, this is Bulldogs area is where we are, and they will still continue to be service. Yes. People who are worried about this franchise and this charity going somewhere else, it's still going to be here.
That's right. So when we made the announcement for the move to Brantford, Michael Andlauer made it quite clear, he's the chair of the Bulldogs Foundation, we would continue feeding the children of Hamilton. That program, now we're also feeding children in Brantford. So that commitment stays on, and the family certainly made that. And you've seen me at the Tiger Cat games, Bubba. I run the 50-50s for the Tiger Cats and Forge, and they help us support what we do in the Hamilton community. So that won't change. But what we are doing is, focusing on what the needs are in Brantford. So that's, breakfast and the hospital. Children's hospitals are very important to Hyman family, to Michael. So we are doing a $100,000 check presentation for the Hospital Foundation tonight for their pediatrics. But what Spencer didn't say is that the new ownership is matching that. So we're writing a check for $200,000. Nobody knows that yet. You're the first to know. So very exciting, and I actually get really emotional when I talk about it. But what this new ownership has brought is Spencer's there every day. He's got my back, and with excitement having me do my job and get out there and decide what we're going to do. So no one needs to worry about the foundation.
It's amazing because it is, as I said off the top, it is so important. And when people have an opportunity to give back, there really is, I think, for everyone, everybody wins.
Yes.
Everybody wins, whether it is the ability to be receiving something and also to give as well, too, when you have the opportunity to give. And that the Bulldogs are still doing this, to me, is just unbelievable. Well, and again, it just makes it more than just a hockey team. It becomes a staple of the area.
Well, Spencer and I had a discussion yesterday because Michael is still the chair of the board.
You have two bosses now.
I have two bosses, and I couldn't be happier.
The boss.
I couldn't be happier. It's the perfect world. But what Michael, and you've heard him say this, the Bulldogs Foundation is a charity, and yes, we give back. But if you want to be a Brantford Bulldog hockey player, you have to buy into the foundation, and you have to do that. And Spencer is going to be, he's at the rink every day, and that will just make it even more so. So, because as you know, we have Mackenzie Entwistle, Robbie Thomas, a ton of players. Isaac Nurse come to events, give us things for charity, and he's passionate about that, right? That the players have to become, it's part of their development, is to be good people.
I was just to echo what Peggy's saying there is, it's supporting a community that supports you on a daily basis. So where it comes to community skates, when it comes to getting the kids out to the hospital, getting kids into schools, Peggy does a phenomenal job on that, and our ownership group is so thrilled to continue that and move it forward. It's extremely, extremely important to us. The foundation is an unbelievable thing that we look to just grow and continue with Peggy. It's going to be a huge part of the Bulldogs franchise for the next 40 plus years. It's unbelievable what Peggy's done, and we just look forward to continuing to support her and working with her to enhance it even further.
Well, you said once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. I'm hoping it's the media guys that are also a Bulldog, too. I was so fortunate to be at, in St. John and also out in Regina for those OHL runs, which were unbelievable. And as the Regina one was an amazing one because it was kind of the first. The St. John one, to me, we were still the champions. And I think Coach McKee said we're the champions of champions because we beat every team in that tournament. Really, just didn't win the final, unfortunately.
Yes.
And obviously the AHL championships as well, too. The city went crazy over,
the
too.
Calder Cup. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable. AJ Baines with that winning goal. Just a memory that I can never forget. But obviously, guys, this has been great that you guys have been able to come into the Sportsline podcast and talk about where the goals are for the franchise and why we should be so excited about the future. I'm pumped up for it. Can't wait to the playoffs. I mean, that's when it's going to be so much fun. I mean, we really saw how that arena rocked in the postseason. And this team right now is starting to climb up the standings right now.
Yes.
You guys have the magic touch all of a sudden.
It's nothing to do with that. It's just,
I don't know.
You know what it is our team's healthy now. And this is a team that has not really been healthy all year. And so we don't really know what the potential of this team can be. So, but what I do know is that we have the right staff in place. We've got Jay McKee, who, like I said, is an NHL head coach. We've got actually 3 OHL head coaches, and also Vince Lacey and Ryan Kubera, and we've got Matt Turek. And I can say that with the staff we have in place, sky's the limit, Bubba.
You just heard it, folks. You just heard it. It's an exciting time. And I think it's exciting, too, also because Niagara are good, too, right now, too. Yeah. So the rivalry is alive as well, too. The dogfight in the playoffs. Oh, bring it to me now. Guys, again, thank you so much for coming in. The future does look bright on and off the ice. Peggy Chapman, Stuart Hyman, again, thank you so much. As in Spencer Hyman, thank you. There's so many of you brothers.
Don't worry about it, Bubba. It's going to get confusing for sure.
Don't call him Zack. But it's been outstanding. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate your time.
All right. That's your Sportsline podcast for the day. And as you just seen and heard, we love talking sports. Of course, if you do know of an athlete, team, or event to promote the Sportsline podcast, do want to hear from you. Please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe button. And if you have something to say, please comment. For the outstanding folks that make the Sportsline podcast possible, thank you so very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.